Welcome back to Book Reviews, the most offensive and inconsistent literary show since E.L. James Weekly. Before we get started, and while I'm bathing in this heavenly light, I have a special announcement. Through hard work and selling out, this channel has attained over 69 subscribers. I think we all know why that's important. 3 is my favorite number, and if you double it, you get 6, and when you triple it, you get 9. I think it's pretty cool that numbers can work that way. The only way that this could be any better is if it was 369, because all my numbers are in there. Yep. Just really like the number. That's the only reason. 69. Now, on a completely unrelated note, who wants to talk about questionable sexual tension? Oh, would you look at this? A separate piece. The bane of your 7th grade existence. Intellectuals will vindicate it as a work with harsh themes of maturity, loss of innocence, and flawed characters. Middle schoolers will remember it as that one gay book where the kid talked about the other kid's butt. The story centers around Gene and his friend Finney as they live at an all-boys boarding school during World War II. And if you can't tell where the story is going from that sentence, I can't help you. Finney falls from a tree one day, and Gene is ambiguously involved, with some people believing that Gene is responsible for his injury. While his friend is away to heal, Gene must try to fill that Finney-shaped hole in his heart. But what will Gene do once Finney comes back? The drama quickly gets off the chain. What? You were expecting more of a plot? Well, too bad, because this is an intellectual piece. The story isn't what's important here. What matters is what the author is trying to say about the destiny of humanity through this hormonally confused boy. A separate piece, just like every other smarty pants young adult book, has the theme of loss of innocence. While these boys are playing and living through their childhood, maturity is looming on the distance. Tax returns. This theme is evidenced by death and war imagery throughout the book, and depression multiple characters face, and the eventual death of one of the students. Ah yes, maturity. Socioeconomic responsibility. Like the cold embrace of winter, it is nothing but death. Literally nothing good comes out of growing up. Accept maturity and live a miserable existence, or die. You see where this novel starts to have its problems? Looking beyond the paper-thin plot and trite symbolism throughout, the message of the story is pretty questionable. And it's not even an, wow, I don't know if I believe that, but he does bring up a few good points. No, you might find yourself wholeheartedly disagreeing with the core message of this book. Gene in this book represents maturity's influence on the other students. While he's not fully mature, he really can't have that much fun on his own. He's very conflicted, he's very depressed. Clearly a bad case of maturity. Buying groceries. Gene's only true joys in life come from being around Finney, who represents childhood and innocence. What's the cost of losing innocence, you say? I'd say roughly Tree Finney. Took me so long to think of that. Once Finney is gone, Gene begins to imitate Finney, suffering from a loss of identity as he is assimilated into the adult world. Again, adulthood is evil. Innocence is so good. It's the best thing that could ever happen to you. You start feeling like this book is less 20th century war literature and more of a sloppy rerun of Kids Next Door. The themes of destroying the basic innocent joys of your life is depressing enough without the slow plot and the blunt, shameless symbolism. But I see the look on your face. You didn't come here to hear me bitch about theming. Oh no, you remember this book. Especially about how gay it was. Honestly, with the whole all-boys boarding school and the focus on 2 male characters, it's really hard not to see something a little out there. Again, there's the paragraph with Gene discussing a boy's ass, and there's the creepy obsession with Finney, dressing like him and whatnot. Totally platonic. But Gene, is there something you'd like to tell the class? The book came out in the 50s, so if it was explicit about any romantic feelings, it'd obviously get banned faster than you could say howl. Author John Knowles admitted that there was a homoerotic element in the book, but said that all strong male relationships have one, so, okay, look, this book's really gay. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Actually, the book's a lot better if you take that mindset. Gene's crazy obsession with Finney becomes a lot more understandable beyond a symbolism point. His conflicting feelings and emotions become a repression of a love that would no doubt be unrequited. Finney, who represents innocence and therefore would have no concept of lust, especially one so taboo, would not reciprocate the love, and Gene knows it. I really wish that I was confident in saying that the author meant to have such deep characters with subconscious motives, but most of the depth in this book is relegated to saying how much growing up sucks, and if you don't accept it, you will die. Maybe not physically, but socially. All in all, we've got a real bummer of a book that really represents the worst of the intellectual reads. A pretentious, condescending cacophony of imagery and symbolism, thinly hidden behind a plot with just too little substance. With that in mind, I have to give it a out of 10. This book is not worth your time unless you're forced to read it. Truly, it is the bane of SparkNote reading students and YouTube personalities alike. Thank you for watching. And remember to subscribe to see what the hell I'm doing next week. By the way, have you noticed that the light has slowly been going out throughout this entire video? The sun is going down outside, which represents an internal struggle in the slow death of innocence within me. I expect a 6-paragraph synthesis essay on the symbolism within this video on my desk in the morning.